Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 186 of the Fab and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I'm a business strategist, a coach, a speaker, and an incoming author. And I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habits. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this 186th episode of the Booster Shot Show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. So if you can see and hear me live on my LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube socials, feel free to jump into the chat, come and say hello, and let us get this party started. It is so great to be here with you, ladies and gents. I'm really excited to share today's topic with you, which is the 3 biggest mistakes that we make about mistakes. Yes, I fully see the meta irony in the title of today's show. But yeah, let me know if you can see and hear me over on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We can get started. I'm really excited to share this topic with you today because of the way in which we behave as humans in general, but as women specifically around the topic of mistakes. I can see a number of people who are watching alongside me. However, I really cannot see any comments coming through. So I'm just going to check that the tech is not teching so that I know that I'm clear. I know that I'm not talking to myself. I mean, I totally could be talking to myself right now, and that is absolutely fine. I would love however we roll. I know for sure that we are the replay will be available. So if you happen to be watching me on replay, then please drop the hashtag team replay for me, just so I know that you had the opportunity to get the chance to watch this after it was completed. But if you're watching live, I would love to know that I'm talking to you in real time and have the opportunity to share these insights with you today. Oh, hello. Hi, Stacey Hassan over on YouTube, our resident Clarity Confidant. Thank you for letting me know that YouTube is live. It is great to have you in the room. Awesome lady. And I'm really, really excited. Actually, I'm even more excited. I love that you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, fabulous lady, let me know how you are doing. Let me know what is the vibe for you. Hey, Jackie Raymond, I can see you on my phone. I'm having to pull out my phone to make sure that things are a vibe over on LinkedIn, because no comments are coming through today. I have no idea why that is, but it is so great to know that you ladies and gents are here with me. So we are going to rock and roll on today's topic, which is the 3 biggest mistakes that we make about mistakes. So just before I share that with you ladies and gents, please feel free. Number 1, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how you are feeling today. 1 would be, oh my gosh, Yinka, things could not be any worse. And 10 would be, wow, Yinka, things are incredible and could not be any better. I would love to know what the scores and the doors are for you today. And I also would love for you to know that however you are today, your honest answer is always welcome. And it is my intention that we really, wherever you are, we either maintain you at a 10 or we do everything we can to at least lift that score for you. Thank you, Stacey, for sharing. Stacey is a 10, and I love that for you. And I am going to glean some of that vibe from you today. I think I'm probably about a 4. Tough day, definitely tough day, but nonetheless, we bring the energy, and I know that by the end of my show today, my own score will be lifted, and I assure you, you will not be given a 4 out of 10 level of energy or performance. That is not how we roll. We follow the plan and not our mood. But yeah, the mood is about a 4. But the plan will serve at least a 9. So thank you so much for sharing that with me, Stacey. I appreciate you. you. And I'm really looking forward to talking about this topic. We very much need to know this more on this issue and insight of mistakes today. Loving that Jackie is a strong 8. Loving that Nora is with us and says that it sounds perfect on LinkedIn. Thank you so much, ladies. Very excited to have you here. Hi, Abdul. Thank you for letting me know that you are a 3. Sending you best wishes. Nora's at a 5. I know that feeling. And yeah, I am definitely sending you vibes today, even though I am at 4 right now. But please do not worry. This is part of the entrepreneurship game. You know, every day is definitely not Christmas. Every day is not sunshine and rainbows. And we don't stop the things we need to do just because we are not chipper, all guns blazing, all sunny, all happy all the time. So I'm actually really grateful to have the opportunity to share this insight with you today, even though, not very happy right now. But I digress. Let's talk mistakes. Why am I talking about mistakes, ladies and gents? The reason why I wanted to share this topic with you today is because to err is human. To make mistakes is human. And I put the word mistakes in air quotes because we get really obsessed with mistakes as though they are not meant to be part of the journey. Like we are taught this perfectionist narrative. Going through school, we're rewarded for when we get everything right, even though we're supposed to go to school to learn. So we're supposed to not know everything before we get there. Riddle me that. But yes, so we are socialized into believing that perfection and things being right all the time is the way it's supposed to be. I can definitely stick up my hand and say that I got that memo long and hard and very, very early. I was a highly academic student. I was a straight A student. I was a quintessential good girl. Like if you set homework, I would do the homework and I would make up some other homework for some extra credit. That was who I was. So we are very much, as human beings, it is human nature to not get things perfect, and yet we are socialized into believing that that is not the case. And what is supposed to happen is things are supposed to be perfect all the time. Let me know in the chat if you resonate with that kind of dichotomy of the fact that making mistakes or erring or error is human and it is part and parcel of daily life, and yet we are celebrated for perfection. We are socialized into believing that that is supposed to be not only the journey but the only acceptable journey. Let me know if that resonates with you. Let me know if you can concur that that is also a memo that you got as it relates to the ideas of mistakes and or perfection. Let me know if that resonates with you, certainly because that was definitely my experience and was something that I always found to be very strange and very confusing. The fact is that mistakes, as we name them, and I'm putting them in air quotes because one of the biggest mistakes that we make about mistakes is the fact that we brand them mistakes at all. Like we brand things mistakes in the moment, and we literally brand things as mistakes in the moment on the basis of a number of different things. But one of the most powerful things that we use to brand things as a mistake is whether it is an outcome that we like or don't like. Now, we brand something a mistake if we get an outcome we don't like, and yet we have no such knowledge of whether something is a mistake or not a mistake in the moment. It is such a huge mistake for us as human beings to rush to judgment and to rush to conclusions on the basis of the feelings that we're feeling in the moment. I'll give you an example. I am, at the beginning of this show, I said this is probably the lowest score I've ever kind of declared on a Booster Shot show in 186 episodes. I usually do the work to make sure that I come in no less than about a 7 or an 8. I said when I came in, I said I was about a 4. And ordinarily I would be like, nope, you do the things, you have the routines and the protocols and the affirmations and did all that. It was not a vibe. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Am I not going to do the booster show? Am I going to let down the people who come week in, week out to come and listen to these insights because I don't feel good? The answer to that is absolutely not. The answer is not. It is That's not what's going to happen. And so the fact that I am in the midst of something that feels very, very uncomfortable, very frustrating, very hurtful at the moment, that doesn't make it a mistake. I can tell you that for free. I have been the person who would rush to judgment very quickly, very many times. And what I will say to you is just because it feels bad doesn't mean it is bad. Just because it feels bad doesn't mean it is bad. There are 101 things on this planet that feel bad that are not bad, like medicine, exercise, kale. Yes, I said kale. Kale is not a good experience, not in my mouth at least anyway. I can live with it. I can live with it. It's not my favorite thing. It's not the food I would choose if I had, my last wish meal. And yet it's good for you. There are so many things that don't feel good in the moment, but are good for you. Discipline does not feel good in the moment, good for you. So just because something feels bad in the moment doesn't mean it is bad in the fullness of time. And that's the thing about the decisions we make and then being so quick to declare something a mistake. You don't know it's a mistake. All you know is that you got an outcome that you really don't want right now. But that isn't sufficient information to make it accurate to call something a mistake. And when I think about this, I am always reminded of the really powerful story, I believe, or at least how it was told to me, of the Chinese proverb of the ancient farmer. So there was a farmer in ancient Chinese times. He and his family were very poor. He had a wife, he had a son, and it was a time when things were very life was very hard. And one of the measures of success, or one of the measures of wealth, was horses. And one of the rules of the land was that if a horse came onto your land, that horse belonged to you. And so one day there was a horse that came onto his land, his tiny piece of land, because clearly he's not that wealthy a person. And his neighbors were like, oh my gosh, wow, this is so exciting. You are rich. How incredible for you. And the farmer said, well, who knows what's good and what's bad? And then, as the story has it, the next day, that horse runs away. So it's no longer in his land and it's no longer his. He's lost an entire horse. And his neighbor's like, oh my goodness, how terrible. I am so, so sorry for you. This is such terrible luck. And the farmer says, well, who knows what's good and what's bad? And so the day after, that horse had gone to find all its other horsey friends. And like a herd, I don't even know what the collective, I think it's herd, of horses comes onto his land. There were like 10 or 20 of them. And his neighbors are like, wow, this is incredible. You are, you're a billionaire. What incredible fortune. This is amazing for you. And he says, who knows what's good and what's bad? And his son gets really excited, engaging with and rounding up the horses and getting to tie them down so they don't run away this time. And his son jumps on a horse, doesn't really know how to ride a horse, falls off the horse and breaks his leg. And they're like, oh no, we're so sorry to hear about what's happened to your son. This is terrible news. He's your only son. How is he going to be able to provide for you? It's terrible news. And the man says, who knows what's good and what's bad? And then, as the story goes, war is declared throughout the land and there's conscription. And so there is a scenario where all men of fighting age and capability are called to join the army, are conscripted into the army with no choice. Unfortunately, because this man's son is crippled from his fall, he is not able to join the army. And they're like, oh, what amazing luck. Thank goodness your son doesn't have to go. Who know, aren't you lucky that your son doesn't have to go off to war? And the farmer says, who knows what's good and what's bad? Now, that is where the story was paused for me, but I think you catch the drift in understanding that in the moment, you have no idea what that particular scenario means in the fullness of time. And yet we are so quick to declare this is a mistake, this is a problem, this is something that shouldn't have happened, this is a problematic, an issue on the basis of how you feel in the moment. Your feelings are valid. I am not having the best day today. My feelings are valid, but who knows what is good and bad in the fullness of time? So the declaring of mistakes, especially in the moment, is one of our biggest mistakes because the minute you declare it a mistake, you give it a story. You make out as though it's not supposed to be there. You make out as though it is a problem simply because you are in a scenario of having emotions and feelings and an experience that you are not enjoying. And yet, the second of the biggest mistakes that we make about mistakes isn't even just in the declaring them or the framing of them as mistakes in the first place, but it's allowing them to define you and giving your power away to the scenario, allowing it to change you, to make you cautious, to make you play safe, to make you shrink, and even more importantly, to start blaming yourself, undermining your judgment, and making it seem as though you had the hindsight that you have in the moment. I cannot tell you how many people's lives have been utterly defined, not by what happened, but by the story they told themselves about what has happened. They have allowed something that didn't go according to plan to be the title under which they have, put their stake in the ground and decided that's now a defining part of their identity. And they have begun a long and deep and meaningful romance with victimhood. And the fact is, ladies and gents, that as I said before, even just defining it as a mistake makes it seem as though that it's not supposed to be there. And yet we have so many important insights around the idea of mistakes in the first place. Like James Joyce is famed for saying that mistakes are portals of discovery. It is you working out what doesn't feel good in the moment or a way not to do something actually frames and gives you certainty. You are certain you don't want to feel that way again. You are certain you don't want to go that way. So it wasn't a mistake. It was an opportunity to learn, to grow, and get certain about things you want to exclude. So many people allow their failures or what they perceive as failures or mistakes to define them. And because you allow it to define you, you don't allow it to teach you. You don't allow yourself to learn from it because it is too painful and mortifying and shameful to even be able to look at it, which means that you end up going through the challenge rather than growing through the challenge. And it's such a waste, honestly, of experience and time because both of those things are things you're never going to get back. But more importantly, if you do not grow with an R, grow through your challenges and difficult times, you'll have them over and over again. If you don't learn the lesson that they came here to teach you, they'll find a different way, they'll find a different lesson. You'll keep repeating the pattern. Johnny Cash is famed as saying that you build on failure, you build on mistakes, you use them as a stepping stone. So your failures are there for you to stand on, for you to grow from, that you close the door on the past. You don't try to forget the mistakes, but you don't dwell on them either. You don't have to give it any of your energy, any of your time, or any of your space in a way that is going to diminish and reduce you. It is really important that we recognize that mistakes are not outliers. They are part and parcel of an expansive and growing journey. And the mistake that we make, allowing it to seem like an outlier so that we shrink, so that we go safe, so that we batten down the hatches, means that we end up performing, underestimating ourselves, and really undermining our confidence about what is lies ahead because we framed it as a mistake rather than as part and parcel of the journey. Ladies and gents, I am not getting any comments from you, but please jump into the comments anyway and let me know if you are picking up what I'm putting down about this second mistake that we make about mistakes. Giving it our power and then adopting this victimhood. Just let me know if it is landing for you. I will check my phone to see if these are coming through loud and clear. I'd love to know that this is really landing, because the third mistake is the one that is, for me, is the killer app. And the third mistake that we make about mistakes is how much we hold on to them. Yes, I'm talking to you. How much we hold on to our mistakes. We hold on to our mistakes, even with the shame, the pain, all the things that we feel, we still won't let them go. We won't release ourselves, and we won't release the mistakes either. And so we literally change the direction. We utterly change the experience that we are going through, because instead of letting it go, moving on, allowing that mistake or that failure, whatever you want to call it, to be something that you stand on top of, rather than you allow it to become something that stands in your way. You allow those boulders to become a wall in front of you rather than a foundation underneath you. And let me tell you something that this kind of feels a little bit like a quiet part said out loud. But ladies, I'm talking to you. We have to learn to let things go. Not just in relation to other people. We need to learn to let things go for ourselves. How many times are you going to beat yourself up because that thing you did, that course you invested in, that offer you launched, whatever, didn't go according to plan? How long are you going to self-flagellate? How long are you going to continue to beat yourself up as if you are doing some kind of penance or ritual? How long are you going to allow it to continue to stand in your way? Ladies, we are the best. If there was an oppression Olympics, self-flagellation and not letting things go, even if it was a mixed event, would definitely be won by women. You have to stop holding grudges against yourself. You have to stop beating yourself up or acting as though you are not to be trusted. You can't possibly back yourself again. You made that one mistake in 1993. Like, let it go. I've never seen Frozen, but I know the song. It's time to let it go. Ladies and gents, you cannot move forward if you insist on being anchored to, tethered by, and dragged back by your past. You are allowed to be imperfect. You're allowed not to get things right first time. You're allowed to discover things in a very practical and meaningful way. You are allowed. In fact, I encourage you to do things that you are not sure are going to work so that you can find out if they do. Life and business is not school. The idea that you are going to get everything perfect first time around is not only not realistic, but it is damaging, and it is unnecessary pressure, and it is not necessary. It is time for us to reframe the idea of mistakes, let alone the notion that because you made one, thou shalt not be trusted. Come on. Because when our kids are learning how to walk, the studies show that a toddler falls 17 times per hour of every day, between the time that they're sitting on their little booties to the time that they jump up and can walk around. They fall 17 times an hour. And at no point do you hear them sit around and say, you know what, 17 times per hour, I am failing at this walking thing. I don't think it's for me. And equally, we do not castigate them and say, you know what, you're not really good at this walking thing. You might just want to stay seated. We cheer for them every time they get up, every time they fall down. We run to them, we dust them off, we cheer them for their courage, and we get them to go again. That's the energy that you need, especially if you are a toddler in all things business, in all things success focused, in all things creating the life of your dreams, in all things developing and creating a rich and rested journey and outcome. You need that same encouragement. You need that same call to resilience. Enough with the obsession with perfection. And so, as I said, unfortunately, I am not getting any comments at all, but I'm going to check and see if anyone is still in the chat and if this is landing in the way that I hope that it is. Because the stories that we are telling ourselves, particularly about mistakes, but specifically in relation to us and mistakes, change everything. How we talk about ourselves in relation to mistakes either propels us forward, gives us a sense of fuel and confidence, or really holds us back. And you know what is so fascinating? Who are the people who actually win? The winners are the action takers. Who are the people who make the most mistakes? The people who make the most mistakes are, no surprise or drum roll, action takers. Those who will take action are those who will make mistakes and are those who will win. And so the path to success isn't the opposite path to mistakes. The path to success is paved with mistakes. Every single mistake, air quotes, takes you one step closer to where you are seeking to get to. And so, the thing I need you to understand, and the one powerful truth that I want to share with you today, apart from the fact that we have to really change the way that we think about this. This is a quote that I found that has unknown attribution. If anyone knows who said this brilliant insight here, I would love, love, love to attribute them correctly. But the one powerful truth I need you to understand is mistakes have the power to turn you into someone better than you were before. Why? Because with mistakes and the desire to get back up again comes resilience, comes experience, comes fortitude, and comes empathy. And that version of you is better than the version that you were before, whoever and however fantastic you were before. So mistakes actually have this incredible and beautiful transformative power. So they're not there ruining your plans. They're strengthening you and enabling you to unveil the person you need to be to sustain the success that you want. Of mistakes and failure are driving you to success if you will let them. And so my one actionable tip for you today is I would love for you to take some time to think about something that at the time, and even probably now, feels like it was a bit of a mistake. You do not feel good as you think about it. You do not feel good as you reflect on it. And I want you to take everything that I've shared today and I want you to sit down and think about how that mistake actually happened for you instead of just to you or by you. It happened for your good. It happened for your strength, for your resilience. For what is it about that challenging time that you have to be grateful for because of all the brilliant things that it gave to you so that you can take the lessons and you can let it go? Let me know in the chat and I'll have to go and check after because the comments are not coming through today. Yay to the teching. But let me know in the chat if you are willing to take me up on this challenge. It is a challenge. And as I said before, I would never want you to think that I'm asking you to bypass your legitimate emotions. That is not what this is about. I am all about feeding our feelings, and I'm not about gaslighting anyone. But I need you to understand that mistake is a descriptor that is built on a story. And we don't know what that story actually is. We don't know the story in the fullness of time. But we do have the power to change the story, and we do have the power to change the meaning of what happened. And so I am minded to make sure that the story or the power of that story lies firmly back in your hands as the person who is writing the story of your life. So, ladies and gents, that is everything that I have to share with you today. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to share. And yeah, as I sit in this moment, I came in at a 4, feeling about a 6.5, maybe even a 7. So I hope that if you have made it to the end with me today, that you are also feeling better than you were at the start of this session. Please come into the chat, share your biggest takeaway. And just to give you a heads up, next week I am running a session for those of you not that want to make less mistakes, not at all, but want to eliminate unnecessary mistakes. If you know that you want to make more cash in your business and you want to make it easier by being effectively and strategically prepared to do so, then come and join my 20-minute cash preparation protocol session. The 20-minute cash flow preparation protocol is a 20-minute protocol that I use in my business each day to get my business ready to make cash. It is something that I've been doing for a while, and it is something that I have shared the elements of with my clients, and they are using to make cash in their businesses too. And I am sharing it more broadly and making it more available to all and any who would like to find out more about it. So, if that sounds like your vibe, if you want to drop me the word, what word should I use? Hello. Drop me the word hello in capitals, either in the comments or the DMs, and I will share more information about the session, timings, cost, all the vibes. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing this insight with those who want to take a more strategic role and a more strategic focus in making the cash flow bit in their business easier than it is right now. So, with that in mind, ladies and gents, I bid you farewell. Thank you so much for joining me live. I really, really appreciate it. Coming to the chat, share your biggest takeaway. If you want more information about next week's session, drop me the word hello. And I look forward to seeing you all in the spaces. Take care, have a good one, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.